So, right now in Warframe, you can get arguably one of the most powerful melee weapons in the game, so let's just not waste your time. I know you have things to do.
Unless 240 mil, there we go. All right, I'll take that one. 240 mil, multiply it by 6. It's over 1 billion damage right now that we're doing in just toxin ticks right there. That's a 240 mil tick multiplied by 6. I think it can go higher.
Also, this weekend in Warframe, there is a ton of Prisma weapons on offer from Baro in case you don't have them, and it's a double affinity weekend, so if you have anything that you want to level that you've been putting off, like Necromex or whatever, maybe some K-drives, now is the chance to do it, but that's not the point of the video. Now, Eleanor in Hulvania or Nyx has a 60% impact Valence Coda Mire on offer for 10 live Heartcells. Heartcells that you get, of course, from killing a Technocyte Coda or an infested Lich. 60% is the highest that the Valence can get, and of course that 60% impact can be changed to any element on the fly that you want to once you max the weapon out to level 40 and add an elemental vice to it. So you can switch it to cold, to heat, to electric, and so on. Now, the Coda Mire is a toxic-based sword that looks like a piece of infested bacon, but its slam attacks seem to apply a guaranteed toxic tick to enemies, a toxic tick that can deal billions of damage, and when you add melee afflictions, the Arcane, to the build, it can guarantee 13 stacks of toxic per slam, and also have a chance to add 10 stacks of viral with each slam as well, which can lead to ridiculous damage numbers as well. Now, I know, right, it's a slam build, disgusting, feck that. They're a point of contention, right? Some people really like them, some people don't. It reminds me of Spin to Win back in the day, but at least it's not a melee influence setup, right? Feckin' this is the year of influence. But whether you like slam weapons or not, they are some of the most powerful and efficient setups in the game right now. And before anyone mentions slam nerfs, and of course Pablo bringing it up, that was apparently just him responding to a question on social media and kind of hypothetically saying what might happen down the road, which Rebecca then mentioned on one of the dev shorts, which I'm going to play for you now.
How melee slams, they don't want them to be nerfed?
Well,
did we kind of overswing there?
No, they weren't nerfed. Pablo, bless his soul, was just engaging on the topic.
Oh, gotcha.
This is purely, this is like all theoretical.
Oh, okay,
nerf
this is
physics.
theory crafting.
This isn't
stuff.
practical yet, yeah.
So they might nerf slam in the future, or they might not. They haven't exactly settled or done anything behind the scenes yet. Now, the Coda Mire, unlike the Sampotes and the Incarn and Magister, which are two of the most favourite slam weapons right now, that deal huge initial damage on those slams and also have a much, much larger radius than the Coda Mire. The Coda Mire is somewhere around, I think, a 3 meter slam radius mark, but the Coda Mire's damage doesn't come from that initial slam. It does do a decent amount initial slam, but the vast majority of its damage is going to come from those forced toxic ticks that have a 6-second duration and deal 1 tick of damage per second for those 6 seconds. So if you mod it for viral and then those toxic ticks kick in, it will deal even more damage, or if you bring it on a weapons platform, Warframe, it's going to be even higher. You get the idea. Now, you've seen what Siren can do as a weapons platform in the previous clip from No Sympathy, whose channel is linked in this video's description, by the way. Make sure and go check him out. Who has, believe it or not, never actually seen sunlight, and he doesn't know the touch of grass. He has no idea what it's like. There is also an incredible video by another channel called Unified Codex, who I think was one of the first players to shine a light on just how powerful the Coda Mire could be with a slam build, whereas other channels and other people were building it for a melee influence. Unified Codex built it for slam.
So 4.7 million. There was a 21 million. So that was a singular toxin tick of 21 million damage, which means that that would do over 120 million damage.
Now, his energy tank chroma build that he made a good while ago made me return to my old mainframe chroma and use him for the first time, and is still my go-to build for my chroma. So again, a seriously good channel worth checking out. It's linked in this video's description. But let me also say this now, some of the best builds that you will find in Warframe for Warframes and their weapons right now are ones within the community on channels like Kessie Oil Corner, like Moog, like Unified Codex, No Sympathy, Havoc, and other channels that I probably haven't even found out about yet. But they are all absolutely worth your time finding them. Now, like I said, do not miss the 60% Coda Mire that is available off Eleanor right now. It is the highest Valence that you can get on any of the Coda weapons, and it is completely worth your time. Also, it is a double affinity weekend, And Baro also has all of his Prisma weapons and armor on offer. In case you don't have any of them, make sure and grab them. Now, how did I go about modding my Coda Mire? So this is the build that I've settled for on my Coda Mire for the footage in this video. Now, the unique trait for this weapon is that slam attacks will apply a toxic status effect pretty much every time. It feels like every time, even though the wiki I think says there's a 30-something% chance, it feels like it's every goddamn time. So I don't know if the wiki is right or wrong. Now, for stance, I've gone for Vengeful Revenant. I've gone for Dispatch Overdrive for a 60% movement speed every time I do one of those heavy slams. Sacrificial Steel is a personal pick. You could use Sacrificial Steel here if you wanted to, but I want that additional crit damage to stack up as well. Prime Pressure Point for melee damage. Toxic Blight is going to give me a toxic status, but also it's going to combine with the 60% cold Valence, which I've switched over to from Impact, to give me viral. Then this is also going to explode every time the affinity bar fills up and do a 25-meter viral explosion, which will also restore 25% of my energy and give me a movement speed buff of 10% for 30 seconds. Then I've got Organ Shatter for crit damage. Then I've gone for a Smite mod for the simple reason this is going to amplify the toxic procs from its unique trait, so it's worth using here. But you could use Gladiator Might or you could use Corrupted Charge, whichever you prefer. But I know a lot of people don't like using smite mods, but this is incredibly powerful with this build. Galvanized Reflex is giving me the heavy attack efficiency, but it's also giving me that initial combo that's going to boost me up to, I think it's a 5 times combo on every slam, so it's not going to dip below 5 times. So if you wanted to switch this for Corrupted Charge, it's going to increase your initial combo as well to make that even higher. Then Galvanized Elementalist is going to increase the status damage that those toxic procs will do, but it's also going to increase my status chance by 30%, and it's going to stack 4 times. And Seismic Wave, of course, is going to give me that plus 200% melee slam damage. Now, of course, using 2 Naira mods on your Warframe is also going to amplify that, because the Naira mods are made to boost slam damage, so they're kind of essential to any of the slam builds out there. But the main thing for this build is melee afflictions. Melee afflictions will give you 6 additional stacks when enemies suffer a knocked down or flung status by melee attacks. So every time you slam with the Coda Mire, you are going to apply a lifted and knockdown status to enemies, which means melee afflictions, which normally adds 6 additional stacks to enemies, will apply it twice, which means you will get 12 toxic stacks from that slam attack on enemies every slam. But because you've already also done an initial toxic one, it means you're going to do 13. So 13 toxic ticks per slam on enemies, and if you're modded for viral like I am, there is also a chance that you will apply 10 stacks of viral as well. Now, if you bring this on a, I guess, a weapon-based platform Warframe, like a Siren, like an Ember, like a Volt, like a Rhino with Roar, then of course you're going to be doing a hell of a lot more damage with this because of what they're going to bring to the table. But with Pablo also kind of talking on social media about the possibility of maybe nerfing slam down the road, and then Rebecca kind of saying that was just him responding to people and there's nothing in the works right now. Even if there was a slam nerf down the road, and the kind of way he was going to do it was the higher you would jump, the more damage you would do on the slam. But because this weapon is an elemental tick based slam that's doing all of the damage and not the initial slam like the Incarnate Magister or like the Sampodes, then the Coda Mire might be okay. So if you're someone that does enjoy slam weapons, then this is definitely one worth putting the time and effort into modding, because it might be the only one that maybe doesn't get affected by any future potential nerf. But we can worry about that down the road if it ever happens. But the point of the video was that there is a max percentage Valence Coda Mire on offer right now. You really don't want to miss it. I do apologize for the format of the video. I do still have a torn disc in my back, in my upper back, which means it's quite painful to sit at my PC for any length of time. So I'm waiting for that to heal. Do by all means go and check those other channels out. They are definitely worth it. Have a great day, have a great weekend, and as always, thanks for watching.